Yo, YouTube! In this video I'm gonna show you an entire tour of my home gym, both indoor and outdoor. I'll show you some equipment that I made myself and I'll tell you how I find good and cheap equipment. I've made many changes to my gym over the past few months and I'm actually beginning to think that this is the best home gym there is, or at least for me it is. It has taken me quite a few years to gather all the equipment that I have, and eventually it adds up, but I still think it's a low budget home gym. I'll mention the price in euros, but I'll post both the euro and dollar value on the screen. In the end of this video, you'll see a total price of my home gym. I've only been to a commercial gym once for the past 4 or 5 years. I do all my training at home. Here I know what equipment I have. I don't have to spend time transporting myself to a gym, and I don't have to wait for anyone else to get finished, and I can train whenever I want. I would say that my gym is a tiny home gym. This room that I train in is only 8 square meters, or approximately 86 square feet. Having all this equipment in such a small space and still being able to train, I sometimes have to be a little creative on how to store and organize all the equipment. My training is mostly based around powerlifting and strongman workouts, but also do some general fitness as well. So let's check out the stuff that I have. I have an adjustable bench. I only use it in a flat position for bench pressing and for box squatting. It's a bit high for box squats, but I'll accept that. The price was 51 euros. I bought this EZ bar with their extra plates in a second-hand store for just 5.5 euros. I mainly use it for curls. The trap bar is one of my favorites. I do most of my deadlift with this bar, and I also do farmer walks, or more like frame carries with it when it's warm outside. The downside with it, it has short sleeves like this, not allowing a lot of plates on it, so one day I'll have to upgrade it. It cost me 107 euros. Right next to the trap bar is my Strongman log. A log is used mostly for clean and presses. It's different from a regular barbell by having a much bigger diameter, putting the center of mass away from the body. It also has a neutral grip, which I find much easier to press with. The log cost me 128 euros. I've had these dumbbells for many years. I bought them secondhand and probably paid around 5 euros for them, including some extra plates. I don't use them a lot, mostly for some double flies and hammer curls. As I said, I have to be creative with how I store and organize things in this tiny home gym. So I mounted shelves on each side of the squat rack. Up here I store mostly light stuff and extra plates for my dumbbells and EZ bar. Here I have 2 med balls, one 5 kilo and one 12 kilo. I use those for wall ball, med ball slams and Russian twist. In total, they were 82 euros for me. I have I have 2 sets of locked jaws, so I can use 2 barbells at the same time. I find them much better to work with than the regular spring clamp that comes with most barbells. They were a total of 27 euros. I made this squat rack in the end of 2019, and it's a huge improvement compared to the freestanding rack that I was using before. It takes up much less space on the ground, and it's way more stable. Also put a regular pull-up bar in it. The carabiners and the slings that I put here is for my pulley system and my gymnastic rings. The rack, including shelves, cost me around 100 euros. A similar rack of steel would cost me way more than this. The barbell is probably one of the most important pieces of equipment in most gyms. I recommend that you spend a little extra here. This one is a 2028 black zinc coated Olympic bar from the Strength Shop. And it only cost me 130 euros. It's a pretty good bar for that price. Proper stiffness and strong enough for my lifts. And the sleeves spins pretty well. And here I have my Fatbar that I made last summer. It also works as a chain yoke. A Fatbar helps strengthening the grip. I do a lot of deadlifts and curls with this bar. This was made from leftover 1.5 inch Schedule 10 piping that I coated with black machine coating. The parts for this was probably around 10 euros. As I said, it also acts as a chain yoke. It's hollow, so I'll put a chain through the end and to the other end, and then to the ground, and attach it to a loading pin on each side with some weights. And then I'll do yoke carries with it. I found this safety bar for just 67 euros. Before that, I had never squatted with a safety bar before, so I didn't know what to expect from it. It's a bit more challenging than a regular bar, but much easier for the shoulder mobility, since I can hold my hands on the handle instead of along the bar like a regular barbell. On this other shelf, I store a few small items. Most items, I put them in a clear plastic box. I got them on the floor right now. Here's my ab wheel. I bought that for around 9 euros many years ago. I used it for rollouts, focusing on the abs. Then I have FatGripz Extreme. It's the widest version. This one goes on a barbell or a dumbbell or whatever it fits on, and then increasing the grip and making it harder to hold on and strengthening the grip. I paid around 49.5 euros for a set. This is a deadlift wedge that I cut out of scrap wood. The deadlift wedge makes it a lot easier to take plates on and off a barbell by rolling the weight into the wedge, lifting the entire barbell off the ground just a few millimeters, enough to slide off on and off the plates. I recently made these deadlift blocks. The material probably cost me around €7. I use them for elevated deadlift, allowing me to do super maximal lifting and working on some weak spots. I store some of the smaller stuff in plastic boxes on this shelf. One box is with random stuff and some of my girlfriend's stuff and a yoga mat. The other box contains my pulley system for push and pull downs, and then I have some grip equipment. I have two loading pins that I bought from Strength Shop for €60. I got two because I used them for chain yoke walks. I also use them on my pulley system for push and pull downs and for wrist rolling. I got this dog bone attachment. It's one of my newest things that I have. I bought this from Strength Shop for €30. I use it mostly for tricep push downs, but also do pull-ups from it once in a while. I also have a piece of rope that I use for as a tricep push down attachment, just cut off some climbing rope that I had. And I have a gripper. I've been focusing on a lot on grip and forearm exercises for a while. This is the only gripper that I have. But I'll probably get some more soon. I bought this in a discount store for only €4, and it's rated to 25 kilos, which was the highest available. It's not really a big challenge for me, so I knock out a lot of reps on it. I keep it at my desktop in my office, so I use it whenever I feel like. A few more homemade equipments. Here's a pinch block that I made of scrap wood. Just attach a hook to it and then connect it to a loading pin with a carabiner, put some weight on it. And here's a pinch coin, also made of scrap wood. I made it it's the same size as the one Canon PowerWorks sells for $10. It's 1.5 inch in diameter and 1/8 of an inch in thickness. Both the, as I said, both the block and the coin is attached to a loading pin with a carabiner. Then I put some weight on it. On this bar, I hang my belts, my straps, wraps, resistance bands, and whatever else I can hang on here. All my resistance bands were a total of €88. They're good for mobility work and resistance work. I use the black one every day for warming up my shoulders. I have one that is always connected to my stairs where I do some stretching, and this other one I use for shoulder dislocators. Then I have gymnastic rings. They were a total of €27. I used to only use them during summer where they'd be hanging on the structure I use for rope climbs. But with my new squat rack and the pull-up bar, I try to use them a bit more frequently. But honestly, I don't use them enough. I use them for dips, push-ups, pull-ups, I don't really do any fancy gymnastic stuff. If you have a very little space like I have, I would highly recommend investing in something to store your plates on. I used to have my plates lying on the floor, taking up a lot of space that I could use for exercises. I paid 67 euros for this rack. It's a bit unsteady. So I would recommend that you find one and feel with your hands and try it out before you buy it. Check if it's properly made and that it can hold a lot of weight. All these plastic coated plates were my first plates that I bought together with the cheap barbell, which I no longer have. I have a total of 175 kilos and they cost me around 268 euros. I'm a bit annoyed by them by not having the same diameter as all my other plates. So I always use them after I used all the other plates. But again, it's weight and they were cheap. I have a set of 100 kilo cast iron plates that I bought from Strength Shop. They cost me around 200 euros. Low price and great quality for a great home gym as always from Strength Shop. Then I got some bumper plates. I was lucky enough to find some cheap secondhand used 15 kilo bumper plates, and then that same day I found a stall selling other sizes of the same brand and the model at a very reduced price because they were introducing a new model. So for this entire set I have a total of 130 kilos. They only cost me around 268 euros. That's even less than most cheap iron plates. I wasn't really planning on buying any bumper plates, but I actually like them a lot and use them pretty much all the time. They are rubber coated plates, so they will survive being dropped, and they are less noisy when I lift. I do a lot of kettlebell training. This is good for general fitness, building a strong core, increasing my endurance and strengthening the grip. I have 12, 18, 24 and 32 as a competition kettlebell, and then I have 48 and 64 kilo as a cast iron kettlebell. They were a total of 490 euros. Some of them were second-hand. Competition kettlebells always has the same size no matter the weight, where the cast iron will increase with the weight. In 2012 I qualified for the National Kettlebell Championship in the snatch event, but decided not to participate due to a sprained wrist. Right now I mostly do kettlebell swings and pressing, and currently have no plans on competing with kettlebells, maybe in a few years again. I recently made pretty much all my floor into a lifting platform. The rubber mats are 43 millimeters sound absorbing mats that I bought from the Strength Shop. And the center part is layered with sound absorbing foam underneath, and then some plywood, black MDF on top. And for all this floor cost me around 332 euros. And I would say it's worth absolutely every cent of it. The mats really remove a lot of vibrations and noise, and it also improved the acoustics inside this room. And the wooden platform is really solid, even better than my wooden flooring, which is very thin. This is a hangboard or fingerboard. It's a good alternative to a pull-up bar. It has various sockets and grips, and is mostly used by climbers for strengthening their grip. It cost me 107 euros. It might sound a bit expensive, but it's well worth it. I've had it for many years, and I would definitely recommend it to everyone that's doing a lot of pull-ups or looking for a different way to improve their grip strength. So let's go out and see what I have outside. I train out here throughout the entire summer when the weather is warmer. I'll do weighted carries such as farmer walk and chain yoke walking up and down my courtyard here. I'll do tire flips, tire slams, wall ball, anything that takes up a lot of ground space, or jumping exercises that I cannot do inside. I have a homemade plyo box that I use for box jumps. Depending on which side it's on, I have 50, 60 and 70 centimeters. The materials was around 35 euros. Then I got this rope that I bought in a boat store for around 36 euros. This is much cheaper than buying one specifically made for rope climbing. I think the diameter is around 5 centimeters or roughly 1.5 inch. Then I have my jump rope that I use for warm-ups. That cost me around 20 euros. And here's the freestanding racks that I used to use indoor, and now I'll only use it outdoors for chain yoke carries and anything else that requires a rack out here. It cost me 94 euros. I don't recommend buying a freestanding rack if you're planning on doing any kind of squatting from it. It's way too unstable. One good thing about it is that it's easy to move around. And here's the chain that I use for my chain yoke. As I said, I just put it through my Fatbar and then attach the ends with a carabiner to a loading pin, and then got some weight on it, and then I'll do yoke carries with that. Then I got this tractor tire. I bought this for around 47 euros, which is actually quite expensive for a tire. Sometimes it's possible to get them for free. But this was the only thing that I could get at that time. I do tire flips and tire slams, and I'm probably gonna attach my climbing rope to it and then do tire dragging. It's not really that big or heavy for me, so I'm looking for a better alternative. I got the Sledgehammer for 27 euros. I only use it for tire slams. It weighs 4 kilos, and I was actually planning on buying a heavier one, but I ended with this one, and it seems to be a pretty good weight for tire slams. So the last thing I'm just going to show you, walk out here. I got this wooden structure that I'll use for my climbing rope. Put that in the center up there, and then also hang my gymnastic rings from it. I also do wall ball shots, so I'll shoot at the upper beam and then use that as a target for my wall ball. So in total, I paid around 3,000 euros for all the equipment I have, or it's $3,200. I still think that's a pretty low price for all the stuff that I have. Sure, that amount of money would give me access to a commercial gym for a very long time. But considering that I don't have to spend any time on transporting to a gym, or I don't have to wait for anyone else to finish the set, and I can train whenever I want, then I think that's a very low price. And the average commercial gym won't have any of the, I probably won't have any of the special equipment that I have, such as the safety bar or all the grip stuff or Strongman lock, tires and so on. Then I would have to go to a special gym that had all that, and such a gym would usually cost a lot more than the average commercial gym. That's it. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button, and if you haven't done already, please hit the subscribe button as well. See you soon.